Today we are talking about the Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels fight or debate or whatever happened there during their interview. The reason why we're talking about it is because it's going viral and people's reactions are crazy.
I'm not an ass kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck of black people right now. You doing.
In fact, Anton Daniels is a guy who actually would put some of the videos of people who are against him.
But that ain't your shit, and that ain't the nigga you got love for, because you don't know the nigga. I'm never telling what you trying to do, my nigga.
Hey, shout out to the Nose Ring and Bite Kings. I just want to make sure that I salute y'all. Y'all deserve love too.
We not finna play the radio. What you trying to do? Like, I listen to words, I listen to body language. That nigga was trying to get close to his bodyguard that was there. See, I watched.
He would put them on his show, and then he would react to those people's reaction of what they think that they saw. Now, before we get into that, I have to ask you guys a few questions. Those questions are, who do you actually think won that debate or fight? Like, who do you think would win? Also, here's another important question. Why? Why do you think that Corey or Anton actually won? And what is the win?
Come at me with no.
I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me.
Let's switch seats.
Let's switch seats. I'm winning.
Homie, I don't do no.
Now, this might actually be the best question. Whose side are you on? Are you for Corey Holcomb or are you for Anton Daniels? Comment your thoughts under this video. Now, let's get into it. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Bertrand and I am the coolest dude on the planet. Confidence and clarity is the goal. So, who actually won this debate? Before you answer that, let me give you this information. You have Anton Daniels, who is a guy who is married, and you have Corey Holcomb, who is a guy who is not married. So you have married versus unmarried. Now, before we get any deeper, let me give you one more piece of information that I believe is vital. You have entertainment versus education. When I watch, because I watch both guys, when I watch Anton Daniels, there's things that I learn about, whether it be politics, whether it be finances, or whether it be just his idea, some idea that I may not have thought about, right? Something business-wise. When I listen to Corey Holcomb, I'm listening to him to get a good laugh. That's why I put him in the entertainment category. Now, before you guys come for me in the comments and say, oh, wait a minute, Corey does have some education going on his channel. Yes, he does. But Anton Daniels' content is mostly educational. For instance, Anton Daniels covers a lot from politics to news, and the conversations that he could have these same conversations with politicians. He could be on CNN is the point that I'm making to you guys. Whereas I don't know if a Corey Holcomb could be on a CNN actually in a heated debate with these guys talking about politics. I'm not saying that he can't. What I'm saying is Corey Holcomb is a comedian coming from the entertainment background. So you're gonna laugh a lot more than you're actually going to think with Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels, you're going to think a lot more than you're actually going to laugh. Again, just two different perspectives. Here's something else that you should know. You have a married man versus an unmarried man. Right? So those two things right there are already going to clash, because Anton Daniels is a guy who is pushing marriage, whereas Corey Holcomb is not. So once again, you have two different perspectives. Now, who actually won this debate or argument? I'm gonna say both guys can win. Right? The guy who loses is the guy who decides to stop creating content, because they're in two completely different lanes. And I'm saying that because I wanted to see the conversation. I wanted to see how they were going to have these different types of discussions, because both guys have experience and knowledge in certain areas. For instance, me being a divorced man, I understand some of the things that Corey Holcomb is saying.
Women in poverty, I can control them better. A girl who can't afford to say, fuck you, Corey, I'm gone. She just can't afford to do it. So I take advantage of that. Now, that might be wrong, but her poverty and my needs Most of the time, it even out. I don't really need a lot of their time.
Whereas a guy like Anton Daniels, he hasn't been divorced, so he doesn't have that perspective. He doesn't have that experience. His experience goes off in a completely different direction.
The reason I be shooting out of town is because it is my 20th. How many people can actually say that? In a culture where everybody is incentivized to be single, hookup culture, no standards, no ethics, no morals, raising their children in broken households, 20 years in the game, I'll be able to celebrate that milestone and be able to kick it with you guys and add that as a caveat on my resume, because very few people can actually say that, right? Your grandmama and them can't even say it because that's the way they was raised. They was raised differently. Your mama can't say that. Very few people can say that. And you gotta be intentional when you do it. It's not about compatibility. It's not about whether or not y'all see things the same way. It's not whether or not y'all both like the color red or ice cream or anything like that. It's all about being intentional. And too many people are quick to give up on their circumstance, and they follow too much Instagram celebrity culture, and none of these celebrities can give you the blueprint of how to be successfully married.
Again, I enjoy Anton's content because when he's dropping jewels about money and how to actually benefit from the money that you're making, assuming that you're making over 100,000, he's telling you how to break the money down so that you come out on the good side of your taxes. Now, when it comes to the fight, I just did a video on manhood and respect, and it seems like a lot of lines were crossed, and this is where the potential fight could have actually happened. Now, I need you guys to understand, again, two different perspectives before you choose who actually won before you choose who won and before you choose who lost. I need you guys to understand a little bit more about both of these individuals. You have a guy who was called a coon or an ass kisser, a white man's ass kisser, versus a man being told that you pleasure other men, that you're a male gobbler. I need you guys to understand this. When I was studying in, and let's just call it like the Pan-African stuff, or the people who talk about Egypt and Africa, right, that are here, the pride that those men have. So being called a kisser is highly disrespectful. I don't know, where everybody is, or where their mind space is, or where their perspective is, but being called a coon is not a good thing. Being called, like, for instance, that takes you all the way back to plantation days, slavery days, where you had the house N-word versus the cotton picker. So for example, you have the street guy versus the square, or the guy that is not from the streets. I need y'all to think about this and realize this. There are certain men who have elevated themselves to a certain position to where they don't want to go to jail, or they don't have anything to prove to a group of people that have already kicked them out or shunned them. Right now, what I heard a lot of people say is that Anton Daniels doesn't understand, and he doesn't understand this, and he doesn't understand that, and Anton Daniels is from the suburbs. And I was like, wait, Anton Daniels put where he grew up, what the house looked like, what the environment looked like, and he also showed how he's leveled up, and he's constantly showing and speaking about how to level up financially. That being said, I believe these two men could have had a great conversation, because it's like having an athlete and the agent. You have the guy who's in front of the camera, and you have the guy that is behind the scenes doing paperwork. For instance, this kind of reminds me of Kevin Samuels, right? There's a difference between the entertainers and the businessmen. Right? The businessmen have a certain life. So when we hear women talk about things like, oh my gosh, I want a man that's rich, that's tall, and that can put me through the mattress, right? The businessmen are saying, we don't really have time for that. When a businessman is on a trip, he still may be doing business, whereas the entertainer is actually not doing business, or they may not be doing business. So when it comes to businessmen versus the entertainers, what you'll notice is when a businessman goes on a trip, he's more than likely still doing business while on the trip. Whereas the entertainer, he's more likely to not be doing business. I'm not saying that he wouldn't, but he's more likely to just be there enjoying himself. Again, this is the difference between the two men that you're looking at. So when people are giving their reactions, I'm like, dang, well, again, I looked at Anton Daniels' reaction to people who were actually on his case about what happened, because most people were just bringing up the fact that he told Corey Holcomb that he's a male gobbler. Right now, because he called him a male gobbler, it looks like a lot of people are jumping on his side, but this is the internet. So realistically, you don't really know, or let me say, I don't really know all the numbers as far as like who won versus who lost. So what I'll do is I'll put a poll on my channel just to get a better view of it, to see what you guys actually think, because me personally, I didn't want to see these guys fight. Now, let me go ahead and just end this video by saying, I wish and I hope that both guys continue to do what they're doing, because they're having an impact in different ways. How? You have one guy that's educating you on a lot of different topics, and you have another guy that's entertaining you about a lot of different topics. So with that being said, I got a question for you. What do you think? Who won? Did I get anything wrong? Comment your thoughts under this video. Also, thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more confidence and clarity, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.